65% of the children in school will be working in jobs not created yet. Robots are taking humans. Welcome to the Industrial Revolution 4.0. Welcome to Biz Stories. Here with us Ahmad. He's a researcher and PhD student at Swans University.
Hello, my name is Ahmad Ujra. I am a PhD researcher at Swans University. My specialty about the fourth industrial revolution and mainly artificial intelligence and these technologies. I'm in my final year, hopefully finishing soon. So I'm here to tell you more about what's about the fourth industrial revolution.
So Ahmad, everybody says Industry 4.0, AI, technology. So what is it exactly? What's the Industrial Revolution 4.0?
So first of all, Industry 4.0 as a term was coined in part of national strategy in German. It was by German government in 2011, November 2011. So they had a conference how they could improve industry in the manufacturing sector in Germany. So they were discussing a few technologies such as AI, what's called Internet of Things, and many other technologies. All of these technology called them part of the strategy, what they called it as Industry 4.0, which is the fourth generation of industry. So now, after this, like 2 years, 3 years later, academics, they start to discuss this conference or this strategy, and they call it, it could be potentially, we are going to the fourth industrial revolution. And who started this term as the fourth industrial revolution is a Professor Schwab, which is the head of World Economic Forum. So he wrote his first book about, he called it the fourth industrial revolution, and it was published 2015-2016. And from then it has become a very hot topic for scholars, for governmentals, for individuals, all about what is Industry 4.0 or what's the fourth industrial revolution. This is just as introduction how the term coined or started. So basically, what is a fourth industrial revolution or Industry 4.0? It's basically, we all hear about robotics, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, all these things. Actually, this is some of applications of the fourth industrial revolution. But what's special really about Industry 4.0 is the data. So basically in Industry 3.0, we had automation, we had robotics, we had AI. Robotics was created in 1969, it's not new anymore. But yeah, it's been developed, emerged massively. So what's special about this revolution in particular? Data. So what's data? To collect data and analyze data to benefit from this data. So now the question here comes, how we do this? How we harness those data? How we benefit from this? It comes to technologies such as machine learning, which you collect data, then you inject it or you teach it to machine learner, then based on this data, perform a particular task. We'll talk more about artificial intelligence and machine learning maybe later on. So, but that's the special thing about the fourth industrial revolution is collecting data and analyze this data to benefit from this data. How to do this? You have to digitize the manufacturing system of the process in order to be able to collect data. And that's how you do it. You collect it to what's called using Internet of Things. Because this is a manufacturing process from A to B. You want to visualize or digitize what's been happening or what happens from A to B. So you need to connect live sensors and connect it to the computer, and you see visualization through what's called Internet of Things technology. And this is, you'll be able to collect data, then you analyze them using few like tools or software such as R, Python, etc.
Okay, there's one thing where let's say people are worried about, which, how will society keep human labor relevant in all this like increasing technological advances and things like that?
So okay, we all hear in the news robots are taking over, artificial intelligence taking over, etc. And to be honest, it has some of the truth. Until certain point, it is right. Like there's a huge report, for example, by PwC. It's estimated that 50% of all jobs in the world will be automated by just 2025. So yes, so basically it will be totally a new type of skills. So like 50% of jobs will be gone, automated, but on the other hand, more jobs will be created. So, but what happens here? The job types is different. For example, it will be more focused on technological jobs such as engineering, IT, computer, programming, and also in cybersecurity jobs because everything is connected to internet. So cybersecurity has become also a very hot topic. So what individuals need to do to develop their own skills to keep up to date. What was valid a few years ago is not valid anymore today. What's valid now, it might not be valid in the future. So as individual, as a skills, we have to keep up to date, keep ourselves up to date and keep upskilling ourselves.
An example I thought of, for example, let's say when you said all these kind of new jobs are going to be created, I think of like service jobs, like how you're going to service a robot, how you're going to service the new machinery, the data, how to mine the data, how to fix robots, things like that.
Yeah, these all some examples of the jobs that have been created. As you said, as we mentioned, all about data. So anything related to data is becoming a job. Like data analytics, you know, data analytics job. Now it's becoming very, like hugely on demand as data analytics or data engineers. But just probably 5 years ago or 7 years ago, that job did not exist. So yeah, and other things. But yes, there are some examples of the new possible future jobs.
You're talking about Industry 4.0 and you're talking about more opportunities, and on the other side we have a threat of jobs will be automated. So what do you say about the people who got low skills or who doesn't have these requirement skills to work or to keep up to date with the Industry 4.0? What can they do?
Okay, so unfortunately, you know, since the first industrial revolution happened, we have entered like, you know, a world that care only about money. So is the capitalism. In another word, the term is capitalism. We are living in a capitalism world. So companies, unfortunately, they don't care about those people who have only low skills. So they want to automate jobs to save money. So all what matters for them is money. And that's the bad part, or let's say the negative part of the fourth industrial revolution. So many people, especially low-skilled jobs, will lose their jobs. That's right. So yeah, so what they can do, individuals, those who have low-skilled jobs, to update themselves. Otherwise, unfortunately, they will struggle. And the government will struggle because now the hot topic here, who will pay tax? For example, as employee, you pay, you know, income tax, right? And this tax, the government pay it to whoever on benefit or doesn't have a job, basically. So now when robots are taken over, or robots is taking your job, and robot doesn't pay tax usually nowadays, does not pay tax, and the government does not receive tax. But what happens to the people who lost their jobs because of robot? And this is very hot topic. And like Bill Gates, for example, he suggested that government should basically question this, and basically they should introduce a tax system on robots. So robots should pay tax. They should be treated as human, basically, because they are doing the job.
That's a very interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic.
Can I add another question? It has to do with this question. Let's say, what careers will take, let's say, a long time for robots to replace? What do you think?
Okay, so robots, or in particular, you know, when we say what's special about robots nowadays, artificial intelligence. So what's artificial intelligence? It's basically as simply giving a robot intelligence. That's what machine.
It's called the human intelligence. Isn't
Exactly. Yeah, human intelligence. So basically, the robot will be able to think like you, to behave like us. But only one part still missing there is the emotional part.
Isn't it scary?
It is scary, but it's realistic. It's becoming there, and you like 80% of all applications and devices will have AI, artificial intelligence foundation, just in 2 years' time. It's becoming everywhere, from the watch you are wearing to the phone you know, when you talk, hey Siri, to your phone, hey Alexa. It lives with us. It's part of our life. So again, to your question, what type of jobs that will be maybe harder to be automated in the future or taken by machine? I would say everything related to humans, like psychology jobs, like physiotherapy, all these things deal with the humans directly and with emotions in general. And a part of the jobs that create those machines, like engineering jobs, computer jobs, programming, etc. And those jobs that require like high rate of flexibility. For example, if you talk about accounting, maybe auditing might be automated or digitized, but management accounting, because deal with the humans, with machines, with the protection, is a bit more, you need more flexibility. It's harder to be automated than other fields, but doesn't mean it's not gonna happen, but probably it takes 50 years.
Would you say business can be taken over? Let's say, you know, when you want to invest finance and things like that, and you make like a robot that reads all the newspapers in the world, and it's going to be the first one that sees, let's say, there's an economic crisis in, I'll give an example, Cyprus, and it knows not to buy there, and while everyone else is buying, it stops buying. Would you think it can actually take over to that sector as well, where?
Actually, this topic we were going to ask about. I've heard that you got some experience in investing in cryptocurrency, bitcoins, ethereums, and how AI would affect predicting the market, or kind of not predicting it straight away, but kind of getting closer. It's gonna go up, it's gonna go down.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
what's your opinion about that?
So, okay, this is very interesting part, and you are mentioning about artificial intelligence. First of all, let's define simply what is artificial intelligence. As I mentioned earlier, artificial intelligence is very broad topic and simply means providing a machine intelligence. As simple as that. So what comes underneath, under artificial intelligence or under AI? Machine learning. And this is the hot one. So machine learning, from the name you could say, is a machine that learns itself. So what's the difference between machine learning and a human? As a human, we learn from our experience. For example, a baby, when it starts to learn how to walk, it falls down many times, then it started to learn from his experience, right? Same for machine learning. It learns from its experience and it gets better over time. But the experience for machine learning is what? The data. So whenever it gets more data, whenever it performs better. So as the beginning, as a human, we have to interfere and inject machine learning or input them some basic data or very simple algorithms. Then machine learning will start to develop itself, over time. Then it will have a prediction ability based on this data. I'll give you just a quick example. Google, when you type in a Google search engine, usually it suggests you words, right, or sentences, what you are searching about, and does this by machine learning, or in particular called in neutral languaging, neutral processing language. So basically what happens here, so when people search about things more, the machine learning learns that those people in those specific location, for example, or those specific interests, they're looking for those specific words. So start to learn pattern. So it tries to make a pattern between data. So it's been a huge data, then start to find a relationship and pattern between those data, and according to that, start to learn more stuff. It's a very deep topic. So
it's not only a deep topic, but also just imagine where, let's say, like I study business as well now, where a machine can just be like, we don't need you anymore. We'll be like making the investment for everyone else. Like the only thing I see business people be able to do something better than a machine is entrepreneurship, like create new things, like make things easier, like artificial technology.
Exactly, that's also a hot topic. So scholars ask, is it with machine learning or robots, what happens to innovation? In other words, so is innovation, can robot be innovative? Can machine learning be innovative? And personally, I would say no, or not yet, because still there's a specific algorithm in the machine learning, and according to that, the machine performs and learns. But they can't think outside of box, outside of this algorithm. So probably not now, maybe in the future, I don't know, but it's not yet. And according to just for investment and prediction, yeah, machine learning nowadays, you can give the machine learning data of previous years of companies or cryptocurrencies or whatever, and start to find a pattern between those years in the investment, why this year better than this year is worse than this year, and it starts to develop a pattern itself without human interfering, and based on this gives you a prediction what the next year would happen. Whenever it gives you more data, it becomes more accurate.
So basically it's like figuring out a gap in the market for next year.
Exactly.
That is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Based on the historical data. When I always say it, data is the food of AI or machine learning. So whenever you give it more food, more data, it becomes better and better.
Right, so in terms of AI, artificial intelligence, do you think is gonna be dangerous in terms of weapons, countries, wars, robots taking a human in wars, soldiers?
Okay, so it could be both sides actually. For example, there's a famous company called Boston Dynamic. So this company is an American company, and this company works or basically it's operated by MIT University and the American government. And that company, Boston Dynamic, specialized in creating military robots. And if you see some of their research, most of their research are confidential, you can't know much about it, but some of them are revealed online, you can Google them. And one of the famous robots is Atlas. There's a robot called Atlas. This is one of the very few robots can do very flexible movements, can jump, flip-flop, etc. So yeah, it could be dangerous if it was misused. So machine learning or artificial intelligence is a great thing if you use it at the right thing. So basically, as I mentioned, it works on data. If you give it the wrong data or incorrect data or misused data, it will perform according to this. If you give it the right data, it will have a great stuff, like treating or predicting a cancer disease 3 years later, or breast cancer. Even nowadays in America, they're doing a very hot research about the prediction earthquake. So they could mimic earthquake in labs, and they say earthquakes, once it happens, it produces some waves that as normal humans, we can't hear them, but machine could detect them. So basically what happens, they let machine detect few mimicked earthquakes in lab, and then machines start to find a pattern between those waves and could provide a message or indication if this particular earthquake would be big or not, according to finding a pattern in those data. So again, AI, artificial intelligence, could be a great thing, and I think it's a very great thing, and could be dangerous. So what I think it should happen, that AI should be regulated by government, strict rules, strict policies to protect it. Because as we mentioned, we are in capitalism world, some companies might misuse it. And this has happened, probably we all heard about Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
Cambridge Analytica, it was in the news. And they developed some algorithms basically, and they stole huge data from Facebook, social media, and they sold this data to Trump, for example, and some, even in a Brexit, it was involved in a Brexit, so to promote for a particular thing based on data. So they misused the data basically, and also there was I think the court, the judge, they decided to shut the company. So that's again could be a great thing, and if it was misused, it could be threat to him.
And also these companies don't really get penalized. Like they're billion-dollar companies or pounds or whatever, and they get only, let's say, 10 million slap on the wrist. This is what they get. So do you think that if they carry on giving them these small fines, it's gonna backfire in globalization?
And the question is why? Because artificial intelligence technologies or strategies or processes not yet regulated. That's why we always ask for regulations. Government should regulate all technologies of fourth industrial revolution urgently, as soon as possible. And they are doing a good job. It's happening, but it's taking longer because it's something new. So at the beginning, yeah, it will be more dangerous than later on. But yeah, if it was proper regulated, it would be different.
Actually, it's very interesting. Industry 4.0 is kind of when you flip a coin, and then it's like dangerous and amazing side. Like it's gonna develop the country, it's gonna destroy the country, and you don't know what's gonna happen. And the government basically who's gonna flip this coin.
What a way to explain that.
It's honestly, it's very interesting and very hot topic. So in terms of a new future skills for graduate people, for people who want to get a job, and the market is very competitive. So what kind of skills do you recommend that they should keep up to date with?
Okay, so when you talk about skills, it's now the hot research nowadays. All big companies, including Siemens, PwC, Deloitte, consulting firm, they are researching this. What type of specific skills necessary for employees within the fourth industrial revolution? So that's a hot topic. So part of my research, fortunately, I'm doing specifying some of those skills. And what I have found so far, I can share with you. Anything relates to data and data analytics, it's a skill and future skills. And when you talk about data analytics, so analyzing the data, to analyze data, we have the most two popular languages to analyze data is R statistics, programming, and Python. And if you want to go more specific, R is better to analyze data as a raw data, and Python is better for programming machine learning. So those two softwares are very important, and I would recommend anyone to learn. Especially if you're interested in data analytics purely, go for R. If you're interested in machine learning, go for Python. For example, we have the traditional skill about communication skills, right? Or collaboration skill. But then the way we have something called visualized communication skill. Yeah, so basically to be able to communicate or visualize teamwork skills through augmented reality, virtual reality, and these technologies. Other technologies that need probably another half an hour. So but basically communicating through internet. So basically we have critical thinking, we have systematic thinking, that you need to solve the problem or look at the things in a systematic way, because industrial revolution or industrial 4.0 is a system, includes many aspects. So before, problem solving skill used to have one specific problem and you solve it. Now it's not there anymore. It's all systematic, all connected. So if you want to solve a problem, you have to learn how to solve the system, or to learn how to use the system itself. We have a hot skill, or it's called multidisciplinary skill. So now if you work in a business area or as accounting, it's not anymore you need to know only accounting or business. You have to know about other stuff. You have to know basic knowledge of competency about a computer, about technology, about internet, about engineering, even if this is not your specialty, but you have to know, because it's included everywhere. As we mentioned, artificial intelligence is going everywhere. You should know at least what is AR. You don't need to be expert, but at least have some basic knowledge. And so many other skills, but these just examples of them.
Now that you talked about business, do you do anything else, like instead of your research and your studying and your PhD? Do you have any side business or something that you're developing right now?
About businesses. So basically, I started a simple business about 2016, summer 2016, and basically it's an agency to recruit international students to study in the UK. And we have a contract with Swans University. We have recruited so many international students from around the world to study here. So what's special about this business? We don't charge students. It's totally free of charge, because other agencies, they charge students. Here we don't charge students. On the otherwise, we charge university or university pay us commissions, but we don't charge students. And we do things to minimize the cost. We do things through online. So we have just a very basic, simple office and a few employees, and everything we do it through online. And that's to minimize the cost and maximize the profit. And on the other hand, which is kind of related to the fourth industrial revolution, I am developing at the moment a business called the Green Engineers, and this is related to the fourth industrial revolution. And basically I'm focusing on the skills, as Khalid mentioned, the skills of the Industry 4.0 and the future skills. I want to develop some workshops and courses to teach those people the future skills. And I'm taking advantages of my research, because I have identified the skills based on research and evidence. So I'm developing now in the future courses, workshops for those particular skills, for example. And one quick thing also I'm doing at the moment with another partner, friend. So it's about e-commerce. We are going towards the e-commerce. So e-commerce is the future. You know, every day you see in the town, many shops get shut, they close. They can't compete with the e-commerce or with the internet market, online shopping. So basically in Middle East, the online shopping or e-commerce, it's kind of developing. It's not yet very developed, but it's developing and it's emerging hugely. So I'm taking advantages of that, and I am planning or on the process to create online business to sell electronics on purpose and try to sell those type of specific electronic devices that you can't find easily there, and at the same time with good quality and affordable price, because you know, we're doing everything online, we're minimizing the cost, we could compete.
Like the iPhone adapter.
Yeah, could be an example.
I can never find that anywhere.
I'll tell you a quick example if you want. So basically the iPhone screen to replacement, the iPhone screen replacement, it costs back home about 50 pounds. But in the meantime, we could find a source that we could be able to sell it back home for 15 pounds, 20 pounds. So you see the difference. And this is simply because we're minimizing the cost. We have just a small, you know, inventory stocks.
That's really interesting, you know, about your businesses. I'm green engineers. I'm the recruitment for students. Actually, I'm because international students. I'm international students from the university, and it's kind of struggle to come here by your own. You're away from your family, so finding kind of agency that who's not gonna charge you. That's amazing. What kind of office or what's its name? So.
One word for educational services, or
Okay.
shortcut OFS. And the green engineers, it's the business I mentioned, which is linked to Industry 4.0, and the online shopping e-commerce, as called it, QA Electronics. Basically,
Okay.
because my name is Ahmad, my partner is named Qusay with a Q, so QA has a upper name.
Smart name.
More common. Yeah, and just like a quick advice. So basically, e-commerce, it's becoming very simple to do. I mean, it doesn't require a huge money or efforts as used to be. Internet, thanks for internet. It facilitates things. You know, it allows us to do things easier. For example, if you don't know much experience how to design website, it's fine. There's a famous tool. I don't know if you've heard about. It's called Shopify. So Shopify is a place for e-commerce. Basically, it rents you a store. Simply, it rents you a store, but electronic store, and they charge you initially 30 USD a month. So you know, it's not a big amount.
Just learned that now. I didn't know about that.
And this is a great thing to do. And also, what interesting thing, you could even not own each product. You could sell if within third party. For example, you could find a product like from Alibaba, or you know, where it is cheap, and you could link it to your electronic store in Shopify and just promote it in your own way. And when a customer orders this particular product, it goes directly to Alibaba Express. So you don't do anything. You're just managing the chain. And at the end of the day, you get money or percentage. And this is a good thing to start with.
So
just a quick example.
How to become a millionaire?
How to become the millionaire.
Great. I've got another question for you, but it's specifically for you only. It's basically, how do you think that you contribute, or how do you think you will contribute through all this artificial intelligence and all that? Yeah.
So okay, I believe whatever you want to do in life, you have to contribute or don't do it. So when I decided to do PhD, I read a lot. I decided to pick that particular topic, which is the fourth industrial revolution. I started PhD in 2015, May 2017. That topic was barely to hear about it. People don't know about it. Even my supervisor did not know about it. What is industrial revolution? What industry 4.0? And I really struggled to get information from academic articles about it, because it's a new topic. It's not been it wasn't studied yet properly, so it was struggling. But yeah, then I learned, then I contributed to knowledge. So if you ask about my contribution, so till now there's no proper definition what's Industry 4.0. If you go even academia research, everyone tells you Industry 4.0 is robotics, is machine, AI, etc. But no one knows what exactly Industry 4.0. And this is what I have, how I defined for you Industry 4.0. It's my personal original finding from my research, which I have developed through interviewing experts in the field from around the world. And I have developed in a simple term what really Industry 4.0, what's special about Industry 4.0, and about the skills. Now when I'm getting those skills, and originally from my own research, and developing workshops to teach the generation to survive, you know, this was called a technological tsunami. So I'm here trying to help individuals or to teach them how to survive this technological tsunami, or not only survive, how to surf this tsunami. And how this is how I'm contributing to knowledge as a research and to society as individual or organizations. Before we end it, let me just give a quick tip to those people who are watching us.
Yeah.
So my first advice to you, open YouTube channel. Don't say you are not good at it. Just open YouTube channel and leave it. One day you will use it. Like I created my YouTube channel about in 2006, and I did not use it till just a year ago. So you will, until certain point, you will learn how you could introduce things. You must be good at something. Maybe gaming, maybe music, maybe songs, maybe you can do stand-up comedy, whatever. So first thing, do YouTube channel. And second thing, go to e-commerce. Google Shopify. Shopify makes it very easy for you. You can easily rent an electronic store and sell as a third party, as mentioned, through other supplier, and you have no hassle, you don't make any hassle, you don't buy the product, you're just managing the chain cheaply, and you can get profit. Third of all, and last thing, keep yourself up to date. Reskill yourself. Your skill was valid a year ago, not now, in the future different. So learn how to do the skills and focus on data analytics. Thank you.
Brilliant, Ahmed. Thank you for your time. Thank you guys for listening, and see you next time with BizStories.